Recently, I was watching a Dave Portnoy pizza review, and in one of the reviews, he mentioned something called Stouffer's and talked about their French bread pizza or something like this. So I googled it and came across this Stouffer's like ready meals type thing, and I have never heard of this brand before. I've never seen it. When I seen it, but I was like, this actually looks pretty awesome. Like, look at that lasagna. Like the thickness of the pasta, how fulfilling it looks. Even the mac and cheese, the thick mac and cheese. This thing, Salisbury steak. I was like going through this, I was just actually surprised by the sheer amount of different things they had. Spaghetti with meat sauce, baked white mac and cheese. I mean, it really looked like so much different types of things. We got baked chicken here. What we got? Fettuccine Alfredo. I seen this one. This didn't actually impress me so much. I was like, they've really just added the pepper on here to make it look as if it's got some sort of flavour, but here, man, we even got like ultimate spicy nacho mac. This thing here, man, that's the Salisbury steak on its own. So much stuff. And I was like, I want to learn more about this brand, but then I came across this video. It's called We Tried 16 Frozen Dinners, so different brands. I thought this would be a good idea to check out different American frozen dinners. I'm sure at one point everybody in America has probably tried one of these or one of these brands, but I wanted to learn more about it. Obviously, like, these sort of ready meals are quite common in the UK as well, not so much here in Malaysia, but tell me if you've tried any of these before. Tell me what your favourite frozen dinner is. Let's check these out.
Nothing beats a home-cooked meal, but sometimes that just isn't possible. So what's the next best thing after some restaurant takeout? Why, it's frozen dinners, of course. Frozen dinners, or TV dinners if you prefer, have been popular for decades, but some are much better than others. Hungry Man hit grocery shelves back in 1973 with the promise of providing larger portions than the typical frozen dinner. And while the Hungry Man Smokin' Backyard Barbecue isn't lacking when it comes to portion sizes, everything else about it is absolutely awful. The Hungry Man Smokin' Backyard Barbecue has two kinds of meat: a grilled chicken patty that's glazed and a pork patty drenched in chipotle barbecue sauce. Both of these meats are disgusting. The chicken patty itself has no flavor, and the glaze has a chemical aftertaste, while the pork patty tastes like a decaying McRib, with a chipotle barbecue sauce that's so sweet and inauthentic that it's much worse than any grocery store barbecue sauce you could possibly find. Worst of all, while the potatoes and corn are relatively decent, the brownie will add to your disappointment.
Got brownie? I mean, that was an absolutely brutal takedown of that meal there. Let's see that again. Hungry Man. I love the branding. Strong. You can tell who the target market is. I mean, getting two pieces of meat, yeah. Looking at this here, it does look very processed. I can see that. But you got the, what is this? Some mash, corn, even a brownie. I've never seen a ready meal that had so much in it. Tell me if you've tried this brand before. Is it as bad as she made out?
Decent. The brownie will add to your disappointment. If you follow a vegan diet, you may be tempted by Amy's Veggie Loaf. This plant-based frozen dinner is not only vegan-friendly, it's gluten-free, kosher, and contains no tree nuts. Even if those attributes sound tempting and fit what you look for in a meal, don't you dare buy this frozen disaster. If you ignore this advice, you will rue the day. Amy's Veggie Loaf is just plain gross. The loaf itself not only tastes bad, it falls apart too easily. Even with the brown gravy on top, it doesn't taste anything like meatloaf. Instead, it tastes like old, congealed veggies, with a lifeless gravy that only piles on another layer of sadness. To add insult to injury, it comes with grainy mashed potatoes.
Okay, man, this video is not holding back. Tell me if you've tried any of those first two. Is that fair?
Stouffer's, a brand with roots that can be traced back all the way to 1914, is generally a reliable name in the world of frozen dinners. The glaring exception to that generalization is the Stouffer's baked chicken. Once upon a time, this stuff used to be good, but these days, Stouffer's evidently changed their recipe and no one is happy about it. The source of the unhappiness is Stouffer's allegedly switching from including an authentic chicken breast in this frozen dinner to including a faux chicken breast that's been molded to look like it's the real thing. Yuck. On your first bite, you will know there is something strange about this baked chicken. It's fatty and so stringy that it's guaranteed to get stuck in your teeth.
That's a shame, man, because when I seen the Stouffer's range, it did look very good. Maybe it's just the baked chicken that's not so good. I'm going to say, like, maybe that lasagna, that actually looked good. And I know that, like, ready meals, frozen dinners are not going to be the quality of freshly cooked homemade food, but still can be good sometimes. So far, like, the reviews, not so good.
When you look at the box of Smart One's Santa Fe rice and beans, you'll get the impression that Smart One's has cracked the code for an adventurous frozen meal that's able to deliver Mexican yumminess directly to your taste buds. Unfortunately, that's not the case. This frozen dinner is entirely forgettable. Smart One's Santa Fe rice and beans features rice, beans, green chili, zucchini, sour cream, and mozzarella cheese. You might believe that this meal would offer at least some spiciness. In reality, it's as spicy as mayonnaise. All the ingredients are really bland, and everything sticks together, which makes it difficult to eat. If you like your Mexican food to be mild, this frozen dinner won't disappoint too much. But if you're expecting any spice or any diversity of flavors, you'll be left in tears while you reassess your life choices. The best of the Hungry Man frozen dinners is called Hungry Man Boneless Fried Chicken.
Ooh, yes.
This meal is still more quantity than it is quality. However, it's leaps and bounds better than anything else this brand sells. While the words fried chicken are in the name, a more accurate description of the entree would be chicken nuggets. You get a pair of gigantic, juicy nuggets that pack an acceptable amount of flavor. While they're not the best chicken nuggets you've ever tasted, they're big enough to fill you up to the brim. There isn't any gravy or dipping sauce, which is a bit of a letdown. If you buy this frozen meal, adding some tasty barbecue sauce will help infuse some much-needed pizzazz into the mix. Beyond the chicken, this frozen meal comes with mashed potatoes, sweet corn, and a chocolate brownie, just like the previously mentioned Hungry Man meal.
I told you we put it in too early.
Oh, it's just a little dry. It's fine.
That's a great movie.
Even if you enjoy
National
the
Lampoon's
restaurant chain
Christmas
by
Vacation.
Marie Callender's, or even Marie Callender's beloved chicken pot pie, don't let that cloud your judgment when it comes to their frozen dinner. Marie Callender's country fried chicken and gravy is the best of the bunch, and it's barely even adequate. Let's just say you won't be rushing to purchase another one of these meals after you finish your first one. But let's also talk about the country fried chicken breast tenders, which comes with chicken tenders and macaroni and cheese.
That
The
looks
tenders
so
are
good.
actually pretty good, but the macaroni and cheese, on the other hand, isn't nearly as good. And in fact, this side by Marie Callender's misses the mark completely. The macaroni's texture is too tough and chewy, while the cheese is way too watery. Lean Cuisine has targeted dieters in their marketing campaigns since first hitting the market back in 1981. Their frozen dinners are hit and miss when it comes to taste, but they are reliably low in calories and relatively healthy for you. If you want their tastiest offering, look for the Lean Cuisine meatloaf with mashed potatoes. Once you finish heating up this meal, it doesn't look very appetizing, but as you start eating it, you'll be pleasantly surprised. The reddish gravy is actually really good. The meatloaf will fill you up, and the mashed potatoes are also enjoyable. After you finish eating it, you'll be surprised to learn that this Lean Cuisine frozen dinner has 20 grams of protein and only 240 calories. If you're on a diet, eating this meal for dinner will likely help you achieve your goals.
That's actually quite good, because I think the conception or the sort of idea of frozen dinners are always seen as being unhealthy. So the fact they've got unhealthy ones, they've got healthy ones that are actually healthy as they promise, like low calories, good protein and stuff. I think that's actually quite a good thing, especially for people who are got like busy lifestyles and stuff. But it's good to see we're starting to get some that are a bit better. The only thing I want to know more about is meatloaf, because I feel like that's a very American thing. I've never seen it really sold in the UK anywhere. But it seems like whenever I watch movies and TV shows that are based in America, every now and again you'll just hear meatloaf being served, The Simpsons and things. Have you tried meatloaf? What's it like? What is it actually made of? Is it good?
The banquet chicken nuggets with mac and cheese and a brownie isn't the
Oh, it's
best
got a
of the
brownie?
best, but it's definitely worth your hard-earned dollar bills. Even picky eaters will be fond of this meal. The chicken nuggets are similar to Wendy's chicken nuggets, but not quite as good. But on the plus side, the chocolate brownie in this frozen dinner is yummy. However, the real star of the show is the mac and cheese. The macaroni is the perfect texture and the cheese is creamy and delicious. In fact, don't be surprised if you end up scraping your plate until every drop of the creamy cheese is gone.
I just put it in the oven, and by it was done. And I had a delicious buffet supper.
While it's difficult to find edible Chinese food in the frozen food aisle, it's not impossible. Not only is the bird's eye beef lo mein edible, it's downright good. This meal has a variety of different flavors and textures, which makes it a joy to eat. The backbone of bird's eye beef and chicken lo mein is, of course, the lo mein. These egg noodles are hearty and tasty, yet soft enough that they don't get in the way. Mixed in with the noodles, you will find beef, bok choy, and strips of carrots and onions. The beef is extra tender and will delightfully melt in your mouth. The action doesn't stop there though, as this frozen dinner is also blessed with soy sauce, sesame oil, ground ginger, and garlic powder. If there's one brand we can trust to do blackened chicken right, it's Zatarain's. With a history in New Orleans dating back to 1889, Zatarain's knows all about Cajun food, unlike a vast majority of the competition. Zatarain's blackened chicken Alfredo successfully lives up to expectations. The bulk of this meal is the penne pasta that is covered with a zesty cheese sauce. The pasta has a great texture and the cheese sauce makes sure that every bite is flavorful. But the star of the show is the blackened chicken. The chicken is grilled and only white meat is present. The blackening seasoning is excellent.
That actually looks super good. I mean, if you compare that to the first Alfredo that I looked at, I mean, this is so much more to it. But what is blackened chicken? I've never heard of that before. Here, so I recently I've been looking at Southern comfort food. This looks like we've got gumbo, jambalaya there, New Orleans food here. So tell me more about this brand, Zatarain's. Seems like it's got like good food, and it's especially because it's, I mean, I don't know what people from the south think of this type of thing actually as well, because obviously Southern comfort food, you would think of it being homemade, but can this ever match the real thing?
Good Cuban food can be difficult to find in the United States. However, if you're at Trader Joe's and you're in the frozen dinner aisle, you can find a Cuban meal that's almost ridiculously tasty. The Trader Joe's Cuban-style citrus garlic bowl is really impressive. In the bowl, you'll find yellow rice, chunks of plantains, black beans, red bell pepper, onion, garlic, cilantro, and delicious pieces of chicken thigh. Everything in the bowl is topped with a zesty sauce that's powered by lime juice and orange juice. While there's a lot going on, your taste buds will be in a state of bliss.
Home cooking! There's nothing like it in the world.
For a frozen dinner that's better than you can find at many Mexican restaurants, try Amy's Cheese Enchilada. The enchiladas feature corn tortillas made with organic corn. Each tortilla is filled with white cheddar cheese and Monterey Jack cheese, along with slices of onions, olives, green chilies, and bell peppers. To top things off, the meal is smothered in red enchilada sauce, and for good measure, a little bit more cheese. Unfortunately, it's not super filling. While Amy's Cheese Enchilada is gluten-free, soy-free, and kosher, it's obviously not vegan-friendly. If you want a scrumptious frozen dinner for your vegan lifestyle, go with Amy's Vegan Chili Mac and Cheese. One frozen dinner that never disappoints is the Stouffer's lasagna with meat and sauce. You've probably eaten this stuff since you were a kid. If you liked it back then, there's a very good chance that you'll enjoy it even more as an adult. While Stouffer's did change the recipe in 2016, the changes were for the better. If you've never eaten Stouffer's lasagna with meat and sauce, in the layers of lasagna you can actually see the beef, cottage cheese, tomato puree, mozzarella cheese, Parmesan cheese, and a variety of spices. You can buy this frozen dinner as a single serving, or if you're feeding a family, in family size or large family size. If a frozen dinner...
Yeah, that's the one I seen at the start. That's the one that really, when I seen the image of it, I thought it looked good. So it's good to actually know that it is as good as it looks. But she mentioned that you probably have had that as a child. Is that something you would have had as a child? Is this something like is really common throughout the US?
dinner has a lot of vegetables in it, there's usually a better than average chance that you will be disappointed. That said, Healthy Choice has apparently cracked the code, because the veggies in the Healthy Choice chicken and vegetable stir fry are phenomenal. This healthy frozen dinner contains a medley of carrots, onions, red bell peppers, edamame, and
Nothing
broccoli.
artificial,
Each
yeah.
vegetable is the optimal texture and is packed with flavor. Joining the veggies are sliced chicken breast and a sesame soy sauce. The chicken is outstanding and tastes fresh, while the sauce makes both the vegetables and the chicken even better. Astonishingly, the entire meal has only 190 calories, which includes a robust 23 grams of protein and just 4 grams of fat. Add up all the nutritional facts, not to mention the great taste, and this is without question the best frozen dinner that could also classify as health food.
Oh, that's pretty crazy. So tell me more about that bit. Like, what's the cost of this? What's the cost of all of these actually? This one especially, but with something like this, because it's so healthy, he says really only using, as it says, nothing artificial, 100% natural chicken. It's just using good ingredients. Would this be of a higher cost than some of the other ones? And are these generally affordable for people? Would people usually choose this sort of thing rather than cook for themselves?
Trader Joe's is known for their delicious frozen food, most notably the award-winning Mandarin Orange chicken. But when it comes to their best frozen dinner, the easy winner is Trader Joe's Chicken Tikka Masala. Try this meal once, and you will agree that it's even better than takeout. Even if you live near a premier Indian restaurant, this stuff is likely better. This frozen dinner, which Trader Joe's
Another big
says
claim.
uses an authentic Indian recipe, has a chicken breast that has been roasted and then covered in a red curry sauce that is extra creamy. To add to the authentic experience, you'll also find basmati rice that is flavored with the perfect amount of cumin. While the chicken and curry sauce comes in a separate section than the rice, the best way to eat this meal is to mix it all together. Do that, and your mind is sure to be blown. Salisbury
With that one and the Mexican one, are they really better than going to a restaurant like a Mexican or Indian restaurant? Is that like a fair claim? I don't know if people from India or Mexico would agree with it. I'm not sure, but I mean, I'm going to just trust whatever she's saying. It seems like they must be.
steak was invented by an American named Dr. James Henry Salisbury in the 1800s during the Civil War. All these years later, Salisbury steak remains a popular, though somewhat retro, part of the American diet. And while the Salisbury steak in this frozen dinner made by Banquet contains an unusual combination of beef, pork, and chicken, your taste buds will testify that this meat is exceptionally good. Odd? Certainly. Scrumptious? Oh yes. The Banquet Classic Salisbury Steak Frozen Dinner also has mashed potatoes, sweet corn, and a cinnamon apple dessert. The mashed potatoes are excellent, especially if you top it with the gravy that covers the Salisbury steak. The sweet corn is much, much better than the corn that comes with a Hungry Man frozen dinner, and it has a satisfying crunch and an unmistakable pop of sweetness. Check out one of our newest videos right here.
Well, that was very enlightening. I actually learned a lot about American frozen dinners, ready meals as we call them in the UK. And yeah, they started off not so good, but they got better and better, of course. So you really got to see a wide range of different types there, the good and the bad. Tell me what you think about them. Have you tried these? Are these the sort of things you ate when you were younger? Do you still eat these sort of things today? Can they be healthy? Can they be actually better than homemade or restaurant made food? I don't know, I find that hard to believe, but maybe they are. Tell me more about the cost of them. And yeah, just tell me your favourite one. Thanks.